Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is Daily Drop number 89. 89 daily drops in. Not bad, folks. 89 straight days. Consistency. We're here because the media does not want to follow this story correctly. And when I say the media, I mean the legacy media. I'm not talking about outlets like the Daily Beast who are doing a good job reporting this story, even though I don't agree with a lot of the stuff they report and their reporting style. I give them their props for reporting on this story as much as they have. So would I like more? Of course I would like more. We would all like more. We would like a whole outfit of investigative journalists dedicated just to this story. And this story deserves that. And for some reason, we do not have that. And just about any other story that you'll see come across the media, the news, is nowhere near as salacious as this story. It's nowhere near as juicy as this story. We're talking about sex trafficking of minors at the highest levels of power. But for the legacy media, that becomes a catch-22. They fear reprisal. If they report on these people, they fear that they will no longer have access. If they report on these things, they will no longer be able to get the scoop. And for them, it's all about being first. It doesn't matter if they're right. They need to be first. And that is the problem, folks, with the legacy media. They do not care about these. They don't care about Jeffrey Epstein per se. All they cared about is who they could pin it to. Whereas people that have followed this story, that might have been the way a lot of people have approached it from the beginning when they first started following this. I know a lot of people on the podcast that listen to the podcast had started out, thinking that this was one side of the political aisle or the other. But as we've discovered, there's blame for everybody here. It's not just Democrats. It's not Republicans. It's just sick, disgusting, evil people, folks. And there's a lot of sick, depraved Republicans, just like there's a lot of sick, depraved Democrats. Party means nothing. These people are corrupt. And the more we circle the wagons and we try and defend the behavior of these swamp rats, the worse it's going to get, because what that does is it insulates them. We keep sending them back to D.C., and it insulates them. They feel like they can do no wrong. They could do whatever they want, and they're going to get elected again. And so they go and they make these deals. They show up in D.C., and they're only worth, a couple $100,000, and when they leave, they're worth millions, and we're okay with that. As American people, we turn the other cheek to that. We understand what they're doing. But this is a bridge too far. This is too much. This is an egregious act of evil. Okay? The fact that there was politicians who gave cover to this man is absolutely, positively, undeniably criminal. Okay? And anyone that's still protecting Ghislaine Maxwell is in the same boat. Because I'm starting to come to the conclusion, folks, I'm starting to think that Ghislaine Maxwell might have been just as devious or more devious than Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, I'm thinking that Maxwell, here's my working theory, okay? Maxwell was the original asset. She was the one, she grew up around her father. Her father we all know that he was a Mossad asset, maybe an asset for the KGB, an asset for the British, and probably an asset for the Americans as well. But she grew up in that environment. She understood the ropes. She was groomed from a young age to be an asset, to work for these intelligence agencies. And then when her father, quote unquote, committed suicide or died or was killed or whatever the hell you want to call it, she came to New York and she was put in touch with Epstein by insert whichever mega group person here. I don't know exactly who it might be, Ronald Lauder, Wexner, whoever it might be, but they were put together, and everybody knew from this group knew about Epstein's proclivities. They knew that he was into young girls. They knew that they could use that to their advantage. So what they did was they had him hook up with Ghislaine Maxwell. They wined and dined him, made him, got him all these different great gigs, got him Wexner as his client, whichever other big giant clients that they facilitated work with him. And then from there, it was his job to set up this honey trap. It was his job to set up this blackmail operation. It was his job to make sure they had dirt on these people. And that, folks, is exactly what occurred. And for me, while Jeffrey Epstein is getting the brunt of this, and while he should, because he is a sick, disgusting, devious, gross subhuman, I think Ghislaine Maxwell is just as guilty, folks. We've seen that she's actually molested these girls. I think she was the brains behind this operation. And I think she definitely has all the information that she threatens to release if something happens to her or she gets prosecuted. You would think somebody who grew up with the background she grew up with, it would be shrewd enough to make copies of whatever sort of documentation she could possibly have. You would think that she would have dossiers on all of these rich people. You would think that she would be prepared in the event that it was her turn to go down. And from her posturing, it certainly appears that way. It seems as if Ghislaine Maxwell is posturing to the point where she's saying, I don't think that you have the ability to bring me in, because if you do, this whole entire house of cards is going to come tumbling down. And what I am interested in is the FBI going to call her bluff, or is the FBI going to be cuckolded by her? And it's a 50-50 proposition for me at this point, because, like I said numerous billion times already, I have zero faith in the FBI, folks. I truly have zero faith in the FBI at this point. From the Las Vegas shooting to, you name it, to 9/11, to any other huge catastrophe in my lifetime, pretty much, we've never gotten answers from the FBI. All we've gotten is more, smokescreen and obfuscation, and they don't ever give us the answers that are needed for us to say, all right, well, look, they did their job, they truly investigated this, and they leave room for questions. And then they get pissed off when people start questioning. So it's like, how could we have any faith in the FBI? I mean, just take a look, just one little peek. Oh, the cameras don't work. Oh, wait, they do work, but the footage, we don't have the footage. Oh, wait, no, we do have the footage. What is this, the Keystone Cops? I mean, are you kidding me right now? You don't have the footage. You do have the footage. We might have the footage. They left the footage. It's at Joe's house. Wait, no, Johnny brought it with him to the horse stable. No, it's all a bunch of horse shit. All right? That's what it is. And we've advanced from the conspiracy stage, folks. We all know that have been following this case. Everybody listening to this podcast from the beginning understands. And if you're just joining us for the first time, you will understand very, very soon. We have entered the cover-up phase of this case, all right? And now, the next phase, what we're moving into, hopefully in 2020, is exposing that cover-up. And once the cover-up is completely exposed, and once, Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Jane, right, the normal people in society that aren't really following this case on a daily basis, once they know the facts of this case, forget it. There will be nowhere to hide for any of these people. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at Bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. All right, our article tonight is from page 6. That's with the New York Post. And the headline is, Ghislaine Maxwell's powerful contacts protecting her in safe houses. So we've reported on this, obviously, that she's being protected by powerful people, but hopefully this article will give us a little bit more context. Supposedly they have an exclusive report, an exclusive source. So we'll see what it has to say. All right, the article is by Emily Smith, and it was produced at 2:56 p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time. Ghislaine Maxwell, the British socialite pedophile, who's long been accused of serving as Jeffrey Epstein's madam, is hiding in a series of safe houses and is being protected because of the information she has on the world's most powerful people. So, safe houses. So that's plural. That means there's multiple houses, multiple people. Who are these people? They need to be exposed. And if this was a RICO case, they'd all be able to get arrested. So why is it not a RICO case? Who is telling them not to make it a RICO case? And why isn't there a no-knock raid going on at these houses the same way that they raided Roger Stone? Nobody's been able to answer that for me yet. Maxwell, 58, allegedly procured young women and groomed them to have sex with Epstein and his wealthy pals, but she has remained out of public view after the convicted sex offender's rearrest last year and death in jail in August. She has always denied any wrongdoing. Oh, of course she has. Of course she has. How dare you think that I, Ghislaine Maxwell, would be involved in any of this? Oh, don't you know I'm part of high society? Shut up. All right, Ghislaine Maxwell, shut up. Even more than your buddy Prince Andrew. Nobody, and I mean nobody, believes you, Ghislaine. All right? At least Prince Andrew, Mummy probably believes him. Nobody believes you, you snaky, greasy, disgusting woman. Nobody believes a word that you say. You're a liar, Ghislaine Maxwell. They don't believe you in France. They do not believe you in Switzerland. They don't believe you in Denmark. And they do not believe you in the Netherlands. They don't believe you in Ireland, and they don't believe you in Germany. They don't believe you in Bosnia. They do not believe you anywhere, okay? On the heels of a Reuters report that Maxwell was the main focus of an investigation by the FBI into several people who facilitated the dead pedophile's alleged sexual abuse, a source tells Page 6, Ghislaine is protected. She and Jeffrey were assets of sorts for multiple foreign governments. They would trade information about the powerful people caught in his net, caught at Epstein's house. So, folks, how long have I been telling you this on this podcast? We've been talking about it from the very beginning, and the only reason that it stunk to me is because of the intimate knowledge I have of the way the intelligence agency was worked in the Middle East, and that was because that's my core of study. That's where I was focusing all of my studies since 2001 for the last 18 years now, 19 years. That's all I studied was Near East policy, the history of the Middle East, history of Islam, etc., etc. So when I saw this, it really caught my eye because it had all the hallmarks of a Mossad CIA style, Middle Eastern style case. They love to do this sort of thing in the Middle East. They'll catch these, supposedly really rigidly Muslim clerics. They'll catch them in acts with young boys. They'll set it up so they're with young girls, etc., whatever it may be. And then they'll use it to embarrass them or blackmail them and have a way into the whatever terrorist cell they're trying to bust open. And they use the same exact methods here. And it struck me as so brazen to anybody who was really paying attention or anybody who truly knew what they were looking at. And it made me take a step back and say, is this truly what's going on? Are they really doing this right out in the open like this? And when you look at all of the evidence, that's exactly what it was. And the perfect cover for them, for the intelligence agencies, was just right here. This simple, folks. Jeffrey Epstein, he was just a pervert. He was just a pervert. He was doing this because that's how he got off. And while that's true, we all know that the best lies have a little bit of truth sprinkled in, right? The source added of Ghislaine, who has homes in Manhattan and London, she is not in the U.S. She moves around. She is sometimes in the U.K., but most often in other countries such as Israel, where her powerful contacts have provided her with safe houses and protection. So, folks, there you go, okay? This source is even talking about it. It's obvious that the Mossad's fingerprints are all over this Epstein situation. But I break away from the pack with a lot of the common thought here, because I don't believe it was just the Mossad by themselves. I don't believe the Mossad were running an operation like this on American soil without the CIA's dirty, disgusting fingers deep inside of it as well. And we all know that the CIA is the most devious organization in the whole entire world, even more so than the Mossad. All right? The CIA has been involved in every disgusting, gross situation around the world for at least the last 40 years, from the Bay of Pigs on down. Right? What did JFK say? That he wanted to scatter the CIA to the four winds, and then he ends up getting killed? Look, I'm not some JFK conspiracy theorist. I don't even really know any of the conspiracy theories besides the most prevalent ones. But for anyone to think that the CIA is above something like that, it's a very naive stance to have when considering it was their intelligence that was responsible for millions of people being killed in the Middle East in unjust wars. All right? So don't give me any nonsense about the CIA caring about life or caring about humans in general. So if you think they would care about a few girls, and I say few, and I mean few in their eyes, but obviously we're talking hundreds of girls. If you think they care about these underprivileged girls and them being abused, if it moves, if it justifies the means to the end, then you're out to lunch. You're not paying attention. Because the CIA does not give a good goddamn about anything besides whatever black op they're working on. The source added that Britain's disgraced Prince Andrew had begged Maxwell to come forward and give an interview to protect him after he was accused of having sex with one of Epstein's most vocal accusers, Virginia Roberts, which he strongly denies. But Maxwell refused, forcing the prince to conduct his own disastrous interview. The source said Andrew pleaded with Ghislaine to publicly defend him. She carefully considered it, but decided no good would come of it if she came forward. It isn't in her best interest. Lawyers for Maxwell didn't get back to us. No, it's not in her best interest, and her handler, whoever that may be, whichever powerful member of Israeli intelligence, CIA, Mossad is her direct handler, told her under no circumstances are you to give an interview. You're going to lay low, we're going to keep you on the lam, and we'll figure it out. It's like Michael Corleone when he had to go over to Italy after he whacked out the Turk Salazzo. Right? He's on the lam now. Oh, we'll let you know when he's coming back. That's how they conduct themselves, as if they're the mafia. But they don't face the same penalties that the mafia faces, folks. Oh, no, 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 no. If they had a vowel at the end of their name, this wouldn't even be a case. This would already been long over if they had a vowel at the end of their name. Everybody they knew, everybody they've ever talked to, anybody they've went to dinner with that they paid the bill for would be getting swooped up, hemmed up, and treated like criminals. But if you're part of a sex trafficking ring, as long as you're protected by the right people in the government, the right people in intelligence, you will be treated with nothing but respect. Even though you're one of the most despicable human beings, and I use that word loosely with them, human beings, to ever walk on the face of this earth. Isn't the two-tier justice system grand? The source also added, if the U.S. government was really interested in bringing in Ghislaine, the IRS would have looked up her tax returns and the income she may have got from Epstein and perhaps some of his powerful associates. Okay, well, that's fine and well, and I know that's how they got Al Capone and shit, but there's so much more there with Ghislaine Maxwell. Look, it's the evidence, folks. I'm willing to change my mind about any of these people we have talked about on this podcast, by the way. If evidence was provided that these people were innocent, that any of them were innocent, I would look at that evidence carefully, and I would definitely, if it was proven accurate information, it would definitely sway my opinion about people. The problem is this. None of these people have viable defenses, folks. None of these people have come forward and truly been like, are you crazy? There's no way. I was not involved in this. You have to be absolutely batshit insane to think I was involved in this. There's nobody who's indignant, nobody losing their mind over this, nobody calling interviews over this. You have people scuttling away, not answering questions, or trying to distance themselves, when in reality your children he was the godfather to your children, Dubins, and your daughter called him Uncle Jeffy, Dubins. All right? So these people are sick, they're not to be trusted, and they have not provided any evidence, not one iota of evidence besides, I can't sweat, I was at the pizza shop, those aren't my fingers, I was never there, I didn't take my underwear off. Give me a good goddamn break already, okay? Nobody believes any of it. Nobody believes any of them. None of it. Not me, not you, not anyone else listening, no one. Folks, I've been talking about the year 2020. It is here. And everyone in the back, I know you know what I'm about to say. Everybody listening understands what's about to come out of my big fat yap right now. 2020 is the year the predator becomes the prey. And we're going to make sure that occurs. We're going to make sure that all of these people get the spotlight that they deserve for their heinous actions. If you'd like to contact me, folks, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. If you would like to help support the podcast, you can click on the GoFundMe link inside of the description box. Tomorrow will be another day of fun and excitement. 3 episodes tomorrow, folks. I've done 2 the last few days. A little bit of a break because of the holidays, spending some time with my family and my amazing girlfriend. But tomorrow, we're back at it. 3 episodes. I had a listener send me an email and request that I read an article from Vanity Fair, so I'm going to do that for her. And then I'll have some more stuff about New Mexico later on in the week. And on Friday, we're going to do the Katie Johnson article, the 13-year-old that made the allegations towards Trump. And we'll see what's what. All right, everybody, I will talk to you tomorrow. I hope you had an amazing holiday, and I hope that you are not too hungover. Have a great night, everyone.